Welcome to Master 2255 English Phrasal Verbs, complete course with 150 categories for fluency. Today, we're moving into Category 124, Weather and Climate. Must know phrasal verbs for everyday conversations. This category will help you discuss weather changes, climate events, and natural forces with confidence and clarity. Let's get started with our first phrasal verb, clear up. This means when the weather improves, especially after rain or clouds disappear. For example, don't worry, the sky will clear up by the afternoon and we'll have sunshine. Next, we have blow over. This refers to a storm, argument, or difficult situation that ends or passes. For instance, the storm was intense, but it finally blew over after an hour. It's often used for both weather and personal conflicts. Then there's cool down. This means for the temperature to become cooler or for someone to calm down emotionally. For example, it was so hot this morning, but it's starting to cool down now. It works for both weather and people. Next up is heat up. This means for the temperature to increase or for a situation to become more intense. For instance, the weather is really heating up as we head into summer. It can also be used to describe competitive situations or rising tension. Then we have rain down. This means to fall in large amounts, often from the sky. For example, debris rained down after the explosion. It's often used for rain, objects, or things falling from above. Next is snow in. This means to be unable to leave a place due to heavy snowfall. For instance, we were snowed in for 2 days after the massive blizzard. It's great for talking about being stuck inside due to weather. Then there's dry up. This means when water, rivers, or supplies disappear due to a lack of moisture. For example, the river dried up after the long drought. It can also refer to running out of ideas or resources. Next up is blow away. This means for something to be moved or carried away by wind or a strong force. For instance, my hat blew away as soon as the strong wind started. It can also describe being impressed by something amazing. Then we have flood out. This means to force people to leave a place due to flooding. For example, the village was flooded out after days of heavy rain. It's used to describe the displacement of people due to water. Next is melt away. This refers to snow or ice turning into water due to heat. For instance, the snowman melted away as the sun got stronger. It's also used to describe fading emotions or fears disappearing. Then we have freeze over. This happens when a body of water turns into ice due to extreme cold. For example, the lake froze over last night, and people are already ice skating on it. It's commonly used to describe frozen lakes, rivers, or roads. Next is burn down. This means for a building or large structure to be destroyed by fire. For instance, the old warehouse burned down after the lightning strike. It's often used to talk about the complete destruction of buildings. Then we have wash away. This means to be carried away by water, often during floods or strong currents. For example, the bridge was washed away by the powerful floodwaters. It can also describe the removal of worries or stress. Next is set in. This means for bad weather, illness, or an unwanted situation to start and stay for a while. For instance, winter has set in, and it looks like it's here to stay. It can also be used to describe emotions like fear or doubt. Finally, we have blow down. This means for strong winds to cause trees, signs, or objects to fall. For example, several trees were blown down during the powerful storm. It's used to describe the impact of wind on objects. These 15 phrasal verbs are essential for talking about weather and natural events. With these, you'll be able to discuss storms, temperature changes, and nature like a fluent English speaker. This was Category 124 of our course. See you in the next lesson.